Welcome once again, my fellow manipulators of digital fate. I'm Richie, this is Capricorn, and today we're back at it with another standard deck tech straight out of Final Fantasy Standard, and this one is the deck. It is the deck you've been waiting for. I know you've been waiting for. This one's called Warden of Eyes, and the idea is we're going back to Jeskai Oculus. It's one of the most powerful decks in Standard anyway, but it's even better with new upgrades. The obvious upgrade of Joshua Phoenix's Dominant is just absolutely nuts in this deck, and I'll break down why. But we've also got a couple other new cards that I think are flying under the radar that everyone is underestimating, and I think they're really amazing in this. So we're going to break down the whole deck and get into the gameplay. We almost went completely undefeated. I think we only lost one game. And that was due to a slight misplay on my part, I think, but I'll let you be the judge of that. Before we dive in, please like the video. It helps me get the video out to so many more people and helps the channel grow. And be sure to subscribe because I have a new deck tech coming every single day. Also, if you're seeing this, this is the last day I'm at home recording before I head to Origins. So I am trying to get a whole bunch of deck techs done and ready so we can continue to drop one every single day. But I will be at Origins all weekend, Thursday through Sunday. So if you're going to Origins and you're going to be hanging out there, definitely come find me. I might be at the Wonders of the First booth. I might be just browsing the show floor. Come find me, say hi. I'd love to meet you. I will see you there. But with all of that out of the way, let's break down this deck. Alright, so the brand new Jeskai Oculus is actually kind of insane, and there are a couple of really cool upgrades. The most obvious of which here we have Joshua Phoenix's Dominant, another 3-mana creature that allows you to discard up to 2 cards when you play it, draw that many cards. You can refill your graveyard with Oculus and whatever else you want to be bringing back from the graveyard later, while drawing into your deck and getting all of the gas that you need. But it comes down as a 3/4 body, which is actually pretty relevant against aggro, and then you get this 5-mana ability that allows him to be exiled and come back into play as Phoenix Warden of Fire, immediately triggering Chapter 1, hitting the opponent for 2 damage, and then also gaining 2 life since it has a lifelink. You then have this big 4/4 flying lifelink blocker, so against aggro, this can actually be really good if you end up holding out until you have 5 mana. Gumming up the board with enough blockers. This guy just pushes you over the edge with life gain and blocking, allows you to take over the game against decks like that, again if you can get to the 5 mana. On Chapter 3 he'll trigger Flames of Rebirth, returning any number of target creature cards with total mana value 6 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. And then you exile Phoenix, return it as Joshua, which lets you discard up to 2 and draw 2 again, which is crazy. But we can get back all of the things with that Chapter 3. Abhorrent Oculus is the main foundation of the deck, right? We're trying to dump this as well as other relevant 3-drops into our graveyard so that we can get it back later with Recommission or Helping Hand. Excuse me. I need some coffee. 4 copies of each of those. Recommission for 2 mana gets us back a 3-drop, puts a counter on it. Helping Hand for 1 mana gets us back a 3-drop with no counter, but it enters tapped. Either way, really cheap ways to get out the Oculus and get around having to exile 6 cards from your graveyard when you play it organically. This deck has been around for a while in different versions, different iterations, and it's always been good, but I think it's just even better than it's ever been before. Oculus, when it hits the battlefield, is going to start pumping out 2/2 Manifest Dread creatures every single turn at the beginning of your opponent's turn, and really gas you up, just give you the ability to take over the game with just that 1 card, which is why this archetype has always been so good to begin with. Getting it out as early as turn 2 by dumping it with a Surveil land or something like that can be absolutely nuts. But now, because we have the extra gas, being able to potentially both dump the Oculus with Joshua, but also have Joshua as something we can dump to get back with Recommission or Helping Hand is really nice. And that Flames of Rebirth just gives us this crazy longevity and inevitability, especially against control decks where it's just pound for pound going value for value, and maybe the game's lasting a little bit longer. Getting to pay 5, flip it into Phoenix can be awesome. There's also a situation where if we hit off of the Manifest Dread that the Oculus in play triggers, and we hit a Joshua, we can put it into play face down and kind of hide it from our opponent. So their primary target is the Oculus. After they kill the Oculus, sometimes there's an opportunity to, at the end of their turn, flip Joshua into Joshua, and then on our turn have the 5 mana, if we're up against a control deck and it's lasting long enough and we get to 5, to then flip it into Phoenix. And it's like, they use their removal to deal with the Oculus, but now there's this inevitability of they have to deal with the Phoenix, or it's just going to bring back the Oculus and more, maybe even 2 Oculuses. So Joshua, really amazing in this deck. We're also running 4 copies of Quistis Trepe, or is it Trepe? I always pronounced it Trepe when I was playing this game growing up, but it might be Trepe. Let me know in the comments. She's a 2/2 legendary human wizard for 3, but she has the blue magic ability, so when she enters, you can cast an instant or sorcery from a graveyard, and mana of any type can be spent to cast that spell. If that spell would be put into a graveyard, you exile it instead. So she's really, really good because, first of all, you do have the utility of potentially playing instants or sorceries from your opponent's graveyard. If you're up against another control deck or whatnot, you could use their stuff. That's not really plan A, but I do want to point out that that's some cool silver lining value with Quistis. What you're mainly wanting to do is a little bit later in the game, when you have Helping Hands and Recommissions in the graveyard that you've already used, you've gotten back an Oculus or whatever else, your opponent's dealt with it, and now you're just trying to get there again after your opponent used their removal. You can just drop a Quistis when you have 4 or 5 mana and recast your Helping Hand or Recommission to get back the thing. So it's almost like copies 9 through 12 of like the Helping Hand Recommission thing. But what makes Quistis even cooler is if she's in your graveyard and you have the extra mana, you can use a Recommission or Helping Hand from your hand to bring back Quistis, and then she can immediately allow you to recast the same one you just cast because it's now in the graveyard, and you cast it again and get back your other thing. So she can be just, if you have enough mana, free value another body on the field, which is even better if you're using Recommission because she'll come in untapped as a 3/3, maybe that's relevant against aggro, and then also still bringing back your Oculus or whatever other gas you want like Joshua. We're also running 4 copies of Summon GF Ifrit. I actually really like this card in this deck. Comes down as a 3/2 for 3. It's a nice little roadblock, gums up the board against aggro, even against mid-range. It can trade with their creatures, but as soon as you play it, you discard draw. So it's kind of like a not as good Fear of Missing Out at first, but the thing is, on Chapter 2, you get to discard and draw again, and if you get to Chapter 3, he'll actually generate mana for you. So sometimes it will line up where you hit Chapter 3, you get that red mana, and maybe you have 4 lands in play, and you actually have the mana to flip Joshua a turn earlier, or maybe 2 turns earlier than you otherwise might, and that could be hugely relevant. Or maybe it's just the mana you need to double spell on a turn when normally you wouldn't be able to double spell. So the fact that he does so much, allows you to discard draw twice, has a 3 power body to trade with things that your opponent doesn't really want to trade with this because you're going to lose it inevitably. But then also Chapter 3 and 4, it ramps your mana and allows you to do more during your turns. Everything about this is kind of awesome, and if you are in the position where you're in the lead and you're just swinging, it's another body to get in for damage while doing all of those things. That being said, going back to the bottom of the curve and starting with the 2 drops, because we already talked about Helping Hand and Recommission, Fear of Missing Out is still the better card to do this, and we're absolutely going to run 4 of these. Discard a card, draw a card when we play it, allows us to get what we need in the graveyard on turn 2, allows us to gas up when we run out of gas. More importantly, it's very easy for this deck to trigger Delirium, especially with GF Ifrit counting as an enchantment and a creature. That helps a lot. And if we get Delirium on this guy, we can get double attacks with anything we want. If we have a flipped Joshua, getting double attacks with the Phoenix is kind of gnarly. Not only that, but if we end up flipping this face down as a Manifest Dread with the Oculus, it could be a sneaky second combat phase that our opponent doesn't see coming. We flip it up into Fear of Missing Out after we turn on Delirium, and we go to town. We're also running 4 copies of Guardian of New Benalia. It allows us to discard the things we need into the graveyard, but it also gives us a really good blocker against aggro that they just can't kill. They just can't push through, especially if their only removal is burn. We can just block all day. But against control, it doubles as a way for us to swing in, get some extra damage, and list something and get to scry to find the right things we need to do what we want to do a lot quicker, so that we're not waiting until our opponent has so much value that they can outvalue us. just helps us get everything done that we need to get done as we're sequencing out our turn. We're also running 1 copy of Inti. It's just another really good way to discard things we want in the yard, get a little extra value off getting a counter and getting trample until end of turn, and some card advantage by potentially exiling something we can play. It is legendary, so I'm only going to run 1 copy. I think this is the least important card in the deck, but I do think it's worth running 1 as a one-of. And then we've got 4 Glacial Dragonhunts. This is the main source of removal in the deck. We're looking to play this on curve to remove relevant threats before they run us over, especially when we're up against aggro. But more importantly, it draws a card and discards a card while we're at it. So it's still doing the thing we want to do on turn 2, getting stuff we need into the yard, digging deeper for the spells that we want to get them back. But it's also potentially killing something in the process. And then even better, it has a harmonized ability so we can cast it from the graveyard and get extra uses out of it. And if we do end up having an Oculus in play, or a Joshua with a counter on it from a Recommission or something like that, we can harmonize the Glacial Dragonhunt for as little as just 2 mana, kill another thing, draw another card, get another thing in the yard, just keep the engine going. It's perfect. This deck is wonderful. The last card I want to talk about is another 3-drop that we can potentially get out of the yard at times, and that's Kiora, the Rising Tide. 3 mana for a 3/2. It's going to draw us 2 cards and then discard 2 cards when we play it, which is slightly better than the way Joshua does it, because we don't have to discard before we see what we draw. So if we potentially draw into 1 or 2 things that we would rather discard, Kiora lets us do that. I think they are both worth using, and since they're both legendary, I like having 2 copies of each so that we're not stuck with a dead copy in our hand, potentially. But on Threshold, when Kiora attacks, if there are 7 or more cards in your graveyard, you can make an 8/8 Scion of the Deep legendary token, which is kind of bananas. It's especially good, again, if Oculus flips Kiora when it manifests Dread and you have it face down. It can be a surprise thing that you turn up for 3 mana at the end of your opponent's turn even, and then you just get to swing with it right away on your turn. Your opponent doesn't see it coming. It almost feels like it has haste if you do it right, even though it doesn't have haste. So this is the new version of the deck. We're using the full like Surveil Land, Verge Land package because Surveil Lands are particularly good in this deck, allowing us to put more things in the yard that we want to have in the yard, even if it's just dumping a Glacial Dragonhunt since we can harmonize them. And we also run 1 Fabled Passage and 3 basics because it's worth it. It's worth it. It helps us get to the number of basics that we need to turn on some of our verges without having too many tap lands, which I really like. So I think this version of Oculus is just even better than past versions. I'm loving it. I'm loving Joshua. I'm loving the trickiness of Quistis in this. Everything about this has been super fun, but I'm going to let you check out the games and judge for yourself, so let's do it. I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's video, Wonders of the First. Wonders of the First is a brand new collectible card game similar to games like Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon, featuring a unique action-based resource economy that helps avoid pitfalls like Mana Flood or Mana Screw, and a battlefield containing multiple realms that unlock over time as you fight for control of the stones. The first 400 card set is called Existence, and they've even partnered with Star City Games to host their competitive play tour at every single SCGCon event starting in August. The game contains alternate borderless art variants, as well as highly sought after limited edition numbered prints, culminating in a 1-of-1 stone foil. And the best part is that the developers have a community-first approach with a card database and deck builder available via Cardio, as well as a version of the game available on Tabletop Simulator, all for free. For more information, be sure to check out wondersccg.com today. That's wondersccg.com. This looks pretty good. We're going to keep it. Parlor on 1 to dig for what we need. Maybe put something we want in the yard. Hey, a recommission. Would you look at that? Let's get lucky. Not as lucky as I'd like. But we'll dump it. We're probably going to play Glacial Dragonhunt to kill one of these dudes. We could play Fear of Missing Out to block it, but he almost definitely has a trick to push through, right? So I would definitely prefer to do it like this. We will dump... I mean, I guess we dump Joshua, right? And we'll kill you. We will kill you. Kill you dead. Hired Claw, Monstrous Rage, sure. That's fine. That's fine. Another Joshua? Oh boy. I kind of like the idea of that having a very big butt. So let's do it. We'll bring back Joshua with Recommission. Discard Joshua and Quistis. Play a land. We could Helping Hand right now. It's probably worth it to just wait. If we did, it would have to be Guardian of New Benalia. And it would come in tapped. Although that might not be the worst thing ever. We do have an extra one. Let's just do that. Now when he inevitably pushes through Joshua here, we've got an indestructible blocker next turn. We'll take one. Witch Stalker's Frenzy, okay. So we'll go to 7. I mean, he's running out of gas, though. Which is very nice. We're going to go Helping Hand. Grab Quistis. Replay Recommission. Grab Joshua. Discard both of you. Draw a couple cards. No attack, and the turn. Seems pretty good to me. There's no way he's pushing through this defense. There is no way. Absolutely no way. Hired Claw. Puts a counter on it. Okay. I don't know why you would do that before blocks. Sure. We'll discard the Parlor. Joshua will die. We will take no damage. Let's see. Thundering Falls. Dump the land. So many opportunities here. I think... I mean, do we want to get Joshua back? We would have to lose this Quistis. But he doesn't have enough gas, I don't think. Let's move to combat. And attack Enlisted. To get some scry. Recommission? Oh boy. I guess we'll keep him, huh? I guess we'll keep him. So if that's the case, we're going to fear of missing out. Dump Quistis, get the Recommission, play the Recommission, bring back Joshua again. I mean, that looks fine. And we have 5 mana to flip him next turn if we want. It's just unending gas. We didn't even get the Oculus, and we're still just absolutely stopping this red deck in its tracks. It's wild. He'll probably block, pump his dude, and try to do the last bit of damage to us, if I had to guess. So I think we can just maybe win, though, if we do this right. think we can maybe win. We'll do that. And we will untap the Guardian. Inti and a land. I don't think we need any of that. Let's bottom it. We want to get closer to Oculus if we can. So we're swinging in for 6. He blocks and does 1. If he pumps his dude, he does even more. Sure. No, no pumps. Choose attackers. We're not going to attack with the Guardian. We're going to take our time. We're going to flip Joshua. He loses the counter, which is a little bit of a bummer. But we gain 2 life off of it immediately. And we have a 4/4 lifelinker to block with. So we can soak up 6 trample damage and gain 4 life, potentially. Even another lightning strike isn't enough at this point. Just a shock. No, it's over. Good game. We even get to swing twice with the Phoenix and gain 8 life because of the fear of missing out. This looks like okay. I think we can keep it. We're gonna have to find red with the Fabled Passage on 1, so that we have the option of using fear of missing out. If we're up against aggro, we probably just play Guardian instead. But it looks like we're not. So we'll pass. Golgari. Golgari. And no turn 2 play. That is sad, man. I don't feel like tap lands and Llanowar Elves go together very well. Alright, we will fear of missing out. We'll dump the Oculus. It's just the best hit. So, gotta do the thing. Cut down the fear, that's fine. We get rid of the cut down. That's fine. We don't have to worry about him using it on the Kiora, or the Ifrit, or anything. Man, I would really like another land. But at least we do this. And we will manifest. I would rather put the Quistis in the yard, I think. So we'll take the land. Quistis could be really good. Player from the yard with a reanimation spell, and then use it to replay a reanimation spell. Maelstrom Pulse, sure. Man, we are stuck on 2, and it feels all sorts of bad. All sorts of bad. I guess we'll just swing in. I mean, we've seen a quarter of our deck. There's no way in hell we're supposed to be stuck on 2 right now. It's just really bad luck. It's just really bad luck. He's got a lot of mana. I think he's playing Genova, which is fun. Hey, there's our 3. How do we want to do this? Probably Ifrit. Discard Oculus again, I guess. Enlist. Swing for 4, scry 2. We're gonna need the land first. We've only got Recommission, though. If we had Helping Hand in there, I think I'd keep the Quistis. We could play the Cut Down, though. You know what? Let's keep it anyway. Let's keep it anyway. We'll keep the land for sure. Probably play... That's a good question. What do we play next turn? Let's dump one of the Glacial Dragonhunts, since we have so many and we can harmonize them. Fenrir's Toast. Does have a lot of mana. Ifrit's gonna let us discard draw again. Kiora could potentially as well. Kiora is kind of turned on, so... That's fine. You do what you gotta do. Spend all of your mana doing that, and we will just continue to run you over. Alright, my turn. We will discard. We'll discard the Ifrit. Play a land. We got a couple different options here. I don't think Quistis or Dragonhunt are going to be all that good for us. We're going to Kiora. Maybe we'll get lucky. No dice. We'll discard one of the Dragonhunts. Move to combat. I want the mana ramp from Ifrit next turn really bad, so I don't want to hold it back as a blocker. Jeez, man. Another Kiora. I guess we keep Fear of Missing Out. We're not going to play it right away. We're going to use Quistis to replay Recommission. Get back the Oculus again. We're hitting for 7 right now. Yeah, next turn's going to be kind of wild. Kind of wild. Kiora is kind of turned on. So we'll end the turn. We have 6 mana next turn. Because Ifrit's going to make mana for us. What he needs to do is hit our Recommission, but I don't think he realizes it. So he'll probably attack with the Cottage and hit our Oculus, our last Oculus. But we've got enough gas with everything else that we don't necessarily need the Oculus. The Oculus would probably get us to the win faster. But I mean, him wasting 5 mana every turn just to do this, honestly kind of good for us. Let's see if he's smart enough to hit the Recommission though. Nope, he hits the Oculus. He hits the Oculus. We could replay his stuff as well with Quistis, which is really cool. We're not going to, but we could. Alright, we have some red mana. Sir. I would like the red mana, sir. Hello. Thank you. We'll play Quistis. We will replay Recommission. Targeting... Well, the Recommission's not going to be in there anymore, right? I think Kiora is probably the best bet. Although I wish we held up a white mana in case we draw into a Helping Hand. I should have done that instead of letting the auto tap take over. I guess we'll dump the land and the Dragonhunt. Just all the Dragonhunts. Next to combat. Once again, we're going to enlist and swing with Ifrit. Tap the face down card. Do the thing. We don't really need either of those. We need Oculuses. We need spells. We need Joshua. That's really it. Everything else can get bottomed. Alright, so it goes from 14 to 7. We've got blockers. We've got gas. Pretty happy about this. Welcome to the stream, Geth Prime. Good to see you. Gains a little bit of life. What are you gonna exile now? Ooh. Summon Primal Odin. I don't think it's enough. I think it's too little too late. But it's definitely something. We could harmonize the Glacial Dragonhunt if we wanted to kill the Primal Odin. I think we need to. Tap the Quistis. Discard a Fear of Missing Out. 3 to Odin. No shenanigans for you, my friend. We will move to combat. We will enlist this fellow. Ooh, Joshua. We will take Joshua. We needs Joshua. We needs Joshua. I wish that was already in our hand. But I think we have to bring something back. I think we want to bring back... maybe Kiora? No, we're going to need a blocker. Helping Hand won't be a blocker. Just in case. We are at 10. We are at 10. Just in case. Alright, smash in. I mean, if that's it, we will take it. I was just a little bit worried that maybe he was able to attack with 2 or get something that allowed him to get in for a little bit more damage. I'm fine with all of this. That's fine. Let's see what you got. What's in your hand? Go for the throat, sure. We just need to figure out 4 more damage. That's it. Oculus in the yard. I mean, if we play Joshua, we don't get to discard draw at all. But we do get him on the field. Cancel. Let's do it like this. Swing in for 6. We will scry. Get rid of the land. Cracks the food. Helping Hand. Quistis. Doesn't really matter which one we keep. Replay, Helping Hand. I guess since it comes back tapped, that was pointless. It's just an interaction that I want to try exploring more, you know? I guess if it was Recommission, it would be better. Yeah, if it was Recommission, it would definitely be better. But I don't think he can push through our defenses now. Yeah, we got him. Just grind him out. No white mana. But we can dig with Surveil. And we can fear missing out on 2 to dump the Oculus and hopefully draw into white mana. So I think we're going to keep it. Keep. Drink some coffee. GG's for sure. Let's just dump an Oculus. Come on, top deck white. Don't do this to me. Case of the uneaten feast. Well, we'll try and dig a bit. We will dump another Oculus. There's the 3rd Oculus. Come on, top deck, white mana. Come on, top deck, white mana. Hey, there it is. There you are. And Glacial Dragonhunt. Man, life is good. We will discard Oculus. Always the best choice for discards, for sure. And then we will Helping Hand one of the 3 Oculuses. You always want to discard the Oculus. Manifest a Joshua, for sure. What we might want to do is just play the Joshua in our hand. And then after he deals with it, flip this Joshua. If the game goes long enough that it seems like we're getting close to that 5 mana ability and it's going to become relevant, we could have this as a backup plan. So we'll keep it face down for now. I don't even know if we want to play Joshua next, but just in general, I think that's a good idea. We might just play the Ifrit. Ifrit could get us to 5 pretty quickly within a couple turns. Ooh. Another land. Another land. That's really tempting. Let's just play the Joshua. If we're already at 4. Let's dump both of these. Draw 2. Play you. And I guess we'll swing all. And then untap the Oculus. Seems pretty good. Seems pretty good to me. Absolutely bananas. Is this deck about to be undefeated? I think it might be. I think it might be. I think it might be. Swing 5. The life gain deck is at 7. Manifest You know what? We're going to keep Quistis in the yard. We can double recommission next turn. Hit the Quistis, get a 3/3 Quistis, and still recommission another Oculus or Kiora. Which seems really, really good for our 4 mana. Resplendent Angel. I don't think you're going to get as high as you need to get, sir. Recommission. Quistis. Recommission. Oh, I should have done the Glacial Dragonhunt, actually. That would have been nuts. But I mean, this'll still be nuts. Let's be honest, this'll still be nuts. I'm pretty sure it's just lethal right here. I don't know if there's anything he can do. But I kind of love it. Hello, sir. Hello. Alright, brings you to 3, but then we get a second attack with Oculus because of fear of missing out. So busto. Alright, we're gonna keep this. My dog's gonna keep snoring, but it's okay. This is my last stream before I leave for Origins, so I want to spend time with my pup. He's allowed to snore into the microphone today. We'll keep this. It's not super good, but it's okay. We've got access to all of our colors. We can Glacial Dragonhunt on 2. Hopefully draw into something that can set up our Helping Hands and recommissions. We'll start here. Ah, I misplayed my lands. I needed to play the Verge first and then the island to play the Dragon Hunt. Das was a mistake. Well, I guess I'll play the Parlor. We will not dump the Helping Hand. I guess we just... This feels really bad, but we're just going to do it. Dump the Oculus. That misplay really put me off my game. The Verge and the Swamp needed to come down as the first 2 lands to make sure we could Dragon Hunt on 2. High Noon means only 1 card a turn. All of these are sorceries. That is very sad. I have a feeling he's going to have removal. So I think I want a Helping Hand. That way, if he kills it... If he kills it, we can bring it back later with the recommission and get to keep the +1/+1 counter. We could also theoretically bring it back at a point when a 6/6 blocker is relevant. Alright, he's gonna do the thing. That's fine. Alright, we're going to turn Joshua face up. We need to kill this, I think. So that's the plan. Draw. Discard. Man, we have so many options. I think we might need Guardian. We might need Guardian just to be a forever blocker against one of the really big tokens. If we can get to 1 more mana, though, we can flip Joshua. That could really help us win the race. Alright. He gets the trigger. Luckily, he doesn't have enough mana left over to play another 3-drop artifact. It hurts my heart that we would be a turn ahead, though. Alright, he turns his dude into an Oculus. That's actually really cool. Clever. Very clever. We don't have an extra mana to flip Joshua, which is a bummer. And we don't have another Oculus in the yard to get back with Recommission. And we can only play one spell a turn. Yeah, this just didn't line up well any way you slice it. One more land, we could do stuff with Joshua. One more thing in the yard, we could do stuff with Recommission. I mean, I guess we still could Recommission. I don't like any of this. I don't like any of it. Not any of it. Not any of it. I guess we just... Ugh, this feels so bad. Everything about this just feels so bad. Let's just do this. We need to dig deeper. We just don't have enough gas to do anything with anything. We should also probably be ditching the Quistises every chance we get. Hey, you're snoring too much, buddy. I love having you here, but you're blowing a trumpet into my microphone. Ow. Ow. Yeah, I think this is just too much. The fact that he gets the incidental value off of the Assimilation Aegis that wasn't really intended for the deck is just... I think it's just too much for us to come back from. I think it's just too much for us to come back from. He could play an Oculus. I don't know that it's going to make a difference. Let's see what we can dump. A land? Nah, we'll keep the land. I guess the Oculus is probably our best bet, in which case keeping the land was a dumb idea. Although it does mean there's only one card that has a chance to be a Helping Hand or Recommission, so we minimize the chances of having to waste one of those cards. I think we're just going to hard cast the Oculus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and one of the Dragon Hunts. We'll just keep one of the Dragon Hunts in there. I mean, we kind of have to get some value some way, right? He could put a counter on his, though, which is kind of frustrating. Kind of frustrating. Riptide Gearhulk. Goodbye. Alright, this game's just over. It was literally just the Assimilation Aegis having the extra value of being able to turn into an Oculus. Like, the deck's not intended to do that as like a plan A. It just could in the moment. And it was all the value he needed to get too far ahead to catch up. I think if it was just the synthesizer, we could have raced it. High Noon was giving us a hard time, but I still think we had the potential with our own Oculuses. 2 Surveil lands and a Fabled Passage that won't enter untapped until turn 4. This is a very tricky keep. The hand is great. The lands are a little bit rough. I think we're going to try it, though. If we lose, it's because of luck. And if we win, it's because of skill. Remember that, guys. I would never lie to you. We'll start with the Thundering Falls since we don't need white yet. Recommission. We have to keep it. Even if we're slow, we gotta just keep it. We can't afford for a quarter of our recommissions to go away. Archive. Another Surveil land. Okay. That's fine. We'll turn 3 Dragonhunt or Fear. Dump the Oculus. Turn 4 we can recommission and Dragonhunt or Fear. Well, unless we hit something off Surveil right now. We probably should put it in there. When it dies, proliferate. I don't love that. When you proliferate, return it from your graveyard to your hand. It still does slow him down, right? Let's just do it. We will discard the Oculus. And we'll kill the hybrid. Slowing him down is good. I have a feeling he has that card that gives me a poison counter and makes me sack a creature. So, even though Fear of Missing Out would been better to hold off the Blightbelly Rat, I don't think it would have landed. Alright, we're going to find a mountain here. Let's see. We definitely want to recommission. So we'll do that. And I think we probably want to Dragonhunt. You know what? Let's just Fear of Missing Out. That's fine too. Dump the Oculus. Like, we've got good blockers right now. Anoint it. We still get the trigger. We'll do you. That's fine. If we draw an untapped land, which we would have with the Verge. Ooh, we can Helping Hand. We can set up for a good Quistis next turn. Can't really do it yet, though. So let's do this. We'll go Helping Hand. Ifrit. Discard a Quistis. Helping Hand. Oculus. And then we'll discard the Ifrit. Kill the Goober. That's fine. That is completely fine. We will play the land. And we will swing with everything and try to race this dude. We should be able to win next turn because we can flip the face down card into another Fear of Missing Out. And get, what, 3 combat phases? And 2 untaps? Another Fear of Missing Out? Alright, we gotta do it. We gotta do it. We gotta do it. So we could Quistis, replay a Recommission, and get back, like, Kiora. Or we can just flip 2 Fear of Missing Outs and win. I like that idea. I like that idea a lot. Let's do that one. Discard Guardian. Draw. We've even got a Glacial Dragonhunt. Let's Glacial Dragonhunt first. We could hit an untapped land. Oh my god, we did. Oh my god. Kill the hybrid. Play the land. Flip you. Flip. He didn't even let us! He didn't even let us do it! We were gonna swing 4 times with that Oculus. 4 times. Thanks so much for checking out my channel. I'd like to give a huge shout out to all of my patrons over at Patreon. Without you guys, this channel would not be possible, so honestly, thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of your contributions. If you haven't yet, like and subscribe. The more likes we get and the quicker we get them, the bigger this channel will grow and the faster it will grow. I'd love nothing more than this channel to become something very special for you guys, but it's entirely up to you how fast that happens. Also, if you'd like more deck text, that's somewhere over there. And if you'd like to see what else the channel's been up to lately, that's somewhere up that way. Also, subscribe, circle below, do all the things.